it's time for us to invite someone to the show that is going to talk with us about mental health. Awesome. You know her, our girl. You know her as a singer, songwriter, actress, Broadway star from one of the top female-selling female groups of all time, Destiny's Child. Put your hands together for my little mama, Michelle.
I'm a survivor.
Hello, everybody. Hello.
Hey, Michelle.
Girl, you look cute with your hat.
Thank you so much. Listen, the way my quarantine hair is set up, I was ashamed to expose these roots.
Girl, you got your survivor outfit on. Girl, you look amazing.
Listen, because we have to survive this quarantine and come out strong.
Absolutely. Yes. That's just what I wanted to ask you. I mean, you know, I'm so happy that you are here with us on tonight. You're like a daughter to me. You know how much I love you.
On tonight, excuse me, I got to.
He said it, on tonight.
Thank you for joining us on tonight. Okay, go ahead.
It's okay.
That's a Kojic thing, on tonight, and I'm not even Kojic.
I am.
I want to say that, but Michelle, we are so excited to have you tonight. How about that?
Yes. I'm so happy. First of all, I just want to say congratulations to you ladies. I just remember day one of meetings happening for this show to be where it is today. So much success. And just
thank you.
Number one.
Number one.
Yeah.
So look, Michelle, other than your roots not being what you want to be, how else is this quarantine treating you?
This quarantine is treating me great. I'm a homebody. I love being at home. So for me, this is okay. But my heart does go out to people who love being outdoors and need to be around people. I mean, I do go outdoors for fresh air, but my heart goes out to people who are ready to just climb out the wall to get out. So, but I think what it's doing for people, especially what it's doing for me, I mean, I'm cooking. Today I made my first pot of cabbage, y'all.
Yes, girl, yes.
Okay.
They're like, what? You're 40 years old and you have never made cabbage? Nope.
That's all right. You were too busy on the road.
I'm 47. I've never made it.
Oh, it's so easy. I didn't know it was so easy.
But Michelle, you don't have to cook. You could pay somebody to come in and cook. So don't worry about the haters. It's okay.
Look at bougie first lady. Bougie first lady. Go ahead. With the purple uplight tonight. Nobody else has
Didi is Bougetto.
Y'all are crazy.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, but Michelle, let's get on topic, because we wanted to talk to you about, you know, this whole depression thing and you being quarantined by yourself. I want to know, really, like, has that had any impact on you? Did anything try to revisit you? Because I know you have really walked in victory. You've been doing really good. You've been on top of your game. But has this kind of, you know, solidarity, if you will, kind of made you feel like, oh my God, I got to get myself together. I got to get my mind. What's happening?
Well, to be honest, last year I took the year off. I only worked 4 times last year in 2019. And then I felt like, man, you should do the same thing for the first 6 months of 2020. Not knowing that we were all about to be shut down for the first 6 months of 2020. So I was already in the mindset that I wasn't going to be doing much. But for the latter part of this year, I had plans. I was supposed to go on a tour. That tour got canceled. So it's like, oh man, I hate that. I mean, so many people had so many aspirations and goals that they wanted to rock out in 2020. So I had a little bit of anxiety, like, man, Lord, now the first 6 months, me and you were cool. Now you done took away the latter part of this year. You know, but I had to just remember, like, everything is gonna be okay. Literally, that's what I tell myself. I make sure not to get in a funk. If I find myself wanting to lay around, I get up and I'll do something random, like cook, get on Instacart and order groceries.
I have a question, Michelle. I'm sorry, I have a question. Are you using any of your tools or toolkit from when you've done counseling? Are you applying any of that during quarantine?
Oh, absolutely. One of the things is like when you are depressed, when you deal with depression, one of the first things you want to do is you just want to lay around. You don't want to bathe. You don't want to eat. You don't want to be in touch with anyone. So like I said, I'm reading there is a such thing as people are experiencing quarantine fatigue, whether it's you're just tired of being in the house, so it makes you want to go outdoors and possibly be reckless, or you're just so mentally tired of all of this. You're so anxious and you're getting mentally tired.
Yeah.
And so what I found myself saying, no, even though you're not going anywhere, taking a shower really helps.
Yes.
Really, I mean, you should be showering anyway. Taking a bath.
Every day.
Quarantine from yourself after a while if you don't.
Yes. But it's something about that water getting on your body and being able to pray and just let that water just kind of rain on you, literally. That's something I do. Light candles. I have my essential oils going, and I'm making sure.
Wait, I'm sorry. You have what going?
Oh gosh, the Holly Carter essential oils, because she will rub you down in essential oils. She's trying
to turn like everybody onto these oils.
Okay, y'all gonna she'll have you smelling like fields of lavender after you leave her presence.
I grew up with it. I know.
Yes, and so
that's my holistic approach to all of this. Instead of doing other things, I diffuse my oils, I ingest them, I put them on my body, and it's.
I know we can smell you. We can smell you.
Smell you.
We can
computers, girl.
Relax. All different kind of odors coming all through here. All your oils.
All my sinuses have been opened.
Right. Okay. Miraculously.
Lavender, jasmine. Yes.
So, what made you make the decision to go and seek professional help, when you realized that you were dealing with, depression?
Yeah. Well, for me, it was when my responses began to be out of character. When you were just that feeling of being hopeless. It's amazing that a person can be hopeless but still have everything going for themselves. Yeah. That's an issue, and it was me getting down to the root of what was making me respond the way I responded. My responses were causing relationships to be in a negative place. It was causing things that I prayed for to be damaged. And it is okay to go and sit down with somebody just because you might think you have it all together, you have it on top of the world, or you're the primary caregiver, the breadwinner in your family. That does not make you immune from going to go sit down with somebody and say, hey, what's going on here? And then they'll trace it back. The majority of your responses in adulthood are rooted in what you witnessed and experienced or what was inflicted upon you in your childhood.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's so good, because I have a saying that we're only as good as our most traumatic childhood experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, you really have to know how to take authority,
That's right.
You really do. That's good, because sometimes you can have it all together and be on top of your game in every other area, but people don't know what you deal with at night or when you're alone. And so
that's so good.
Be honest with yourself to go and seek help. That's powerful to me.
Yes.
Right. Guys, I have a question that just came in from our viewing audience.
Ooh.
And his name is Mike Hart. He is
to the gentleman watching. Yeah.
I know.
He says, my question is, how do you deal with haters and stay strong mentally and not internalize the doubt put on you? And I know, Michelle, you can really dig in and answer that one.
Well, my thing is, are we looking, I know we love what we do, and a lot of what we do, you're to get praise and accolades from strangers, right? But the minute you don't, it's like you want to focus on that one or two people who might say something crazy to you. Right. But at the end of the day, I had to shift my thinking. I'm not doing this for praise and likes and comments on my social media. I'm doing this because I know that what I've gone through is going to help somebody else. So if I can shift my focus on my purpose, I won't have to worry about a hater's comment.
So good.
You know what I mean?
Good. That's good.
So good. Yeah.
I love that. You know, Michelle, you have a book that is coming out next year dealing with mental health. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, we are working on a book. I'm not disclosing that title yet, but I'm so excited. And of course, Dr. Holly Carter, she is involved in 1 million things on this earth.
How does that not surprise us?
Okay.
That's why she put that question on a paper.
The exciting thing is I know that I'll be speaking with you ladies closer to the time of release, but I'm so excited about it. It's simply about making sure that we are getting in tune with ourselves, with each other, and with God.
Yes.
That's so good.
So Michelle, I have a question for you because I'm in ministry and I'm around a whole lot of preachers, and there is almost like a silent stigma in the church world. We don't talk about mental issues. We're you know, if we talk about us falling apart or us going through something mentally, we're not as spiritual. And last year, I remember I had a friend that was a pastor of like a mega church, and he was an advocate for depression. He talked about it. And then he ended up committing suicide.
Wow.
And what would you say about that? How do we get that faux pas out of the church world and let people know you can love Jesus and go to a therapist? You can love Jesus and talk about what you're feeling behind closed doors.
I mean, praying and having a therapist, I mean, those are some amazing weapons. Jesus and a therapist, those are some amazing weapons. Yes. I think what it is that, you know, when we grew up in church, you know, you're taught to pray about it, and anything else besides prayer, it's like, that makes it like you don't believe in prayer. You're putting something else above what God can do. You know what I mean? And I truly believe that the same God that, like, I have 3 doctors in my family, 2 cousins and an uncle. That same God that made them be able to be a family practitioner and an emergency room physician, that same God also gifted a psychiatrist to work with our brains and our minds. He's the same God that equips a therapist to go back and help us find things to our roots, our childhood. So the same God that can diagnose somebody with diabetes, the same God who helped the doctor to do that, is the same God that can tell a psychiatrist to diagnose a person with bipolar or depression. And it is okay. It does not lessen the Holy Spirit in you if you have to take medication. It does not lessen the Holy Spirit in you if you have to go sit on somebody's couch to say, hey, I'm dealing with this. I never told this secret. I was abused when I was a child, and it's eating me alive as an adult. And it's okay.
But you know, it's not just an issue in the church. It's even in African-American community.
Yes.
And so it's really not just a church issue. We've been taught if you go and sit down and talk to somebody, you're crazy. And so we really have to address that issue across the board. So people know
and I think
it's okay to get help.
And I think especially right now, Kim. People get PTSD seeing people pulled out with body bags.
Woo!
And now is a perfect time to just say, it's okay.
Yeah. It's so interesting because I've dealt with that. I actually have a family member right now that we're dealing with, like, you know, their mental issues there. But I think it's always been such a fine line, because you've heard that God, not only is he the God of the breakthrough, but he's the great counselor. He's the great healer. He's the great therapist. And so my thing has always been, okay, God, I get to know you as a counselor, but distinguishing when is it time to say, okay, I have been praying. And I do say I know him as a great counselor, but now is it time to go ahead and sit down and say, okay, I need a therapist because I haven't seen a breakthrough. And I think that's where a lot of people kind of get it, you know, it's kind of like, okay, which way?
Yeah. You know what? I think that going to a therapist will also teach you, you're going to give me more of what to pray for specifically. Some of us, we might not be seeing breakthrough because we don't know even what to pray for. I know God can, like, even though we don't know what we should pray for, I know that the Holy Spirit can guide us. But I really believe it when I go get therapy and I find out that, oh, you're still dealing with some issues of somebody speaking word curses over you, telling you that you're never going to be anything, or I wish you were never born. I now can take that and I can pray specifically. I know this isn't like a church show, but it's like when I talk about prayer and therapy, because we were talking about prayer and therapy. If you want to talk about prayer and therapy, when I go to therapy, now I have specific things to be in prayer about.
I think that we've I think that we're complicating things so much because no one asks a person if they're going to the dentist when their tooth hurts. I think that this has been way too complicated. Our mental health is a true priority. If our mindset isn't positive, nothing else is going to work. And like at the end of the day, I think that whether it's the church, not the church, this is just an issue, period. Especially in the African American culture. And we absolutely have to take more of an approach on making this normal, because it is absolutely normal to get help from any doctor when we're dealing with anything.
I agree with that.
You said something earlier about a group of friends. What did you say as it relates to your mental health, making sure you have a club to help you get through?
Is that directed to me or
no,
to Kim?
Kim.
Oh, yeah.
Kim. Earlier, you talked about having a group of friends to really help you.
Yes, I think it's like an accountability club, where you have a group of friends that y'all text each other, check on each other. How you doing today? Or FaceTime. I hate the phone. I hate FaceTiming, and I have learned to embrace it in this season because my mental health, I'm not okay. I'm an extrovert, and I'm just thinking, listen, I think it's brilliant for you to get some accountability buddies, some buddies, where every day it's your job to check on each other.
That's good.
Right now, for sure. Even if you don't want to be checked on, check on them.
Check on them.
No, today I even had one of my friends, literally the doorbell rang. They're in Texas. She drops off, she orders me some Chick-fil-A and leaves it at the front door.
Oh, that's a friend.
Accountability.
I hate to break up this party, but I have to, guys. We have got to get out of here.
Michelle, that's so good.
Already? No.
We are done. But Michelle, thank you for your transparency.
Thank you.
We love you. We can't wait to see you back here to talk about your book. But ladies, thank you guys for getting on this and digging in. And for the audience, listen, we are back here same time next week, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on
FOXSOUL.